Questions about temperament, so let's just confront the elephant in the room. Some people find you standoffish, Councilwoman. Other people find you stubborn. So why don't we start with the mayor? And I would say the other thing is people are saying you're being disloyal for running against the mayor who appointed you to office. So let's start with you. Are you stubborn?
My wife is in the front row here, and I'm looking right at her.
And for the radio audience, she's nodding her head.
I know. I am stubborn in the right ways. This is a difficult job, and you have to make tough decisions, and you have to stay with them. And I could tell you dozens of decisions. The branch libraries are just one of them. You went out for a bond, you didn't get 66 2/3, which is a crazy high threshold. And I said, no, we need that in our neighborhoods. We need to help people have a place to learn. And that is stubborn. Yes, it is. And it's stubborn in all the right ways. Again, when it comes to the toughest decision that I've ever made was to give the order to take down Cooper Court and move the camps. I lost friends over it. I lost sleep over it. You bet I was stubborn, and you should be thankful, and I know you are thankful that I was stubborn in that way. I will change when I need to. I've got a lot of examples of that, but I will stay with tough decisions, and that's fundamental to this job.
Thank you. Councilwoman?
That I'm standoffish.
Standoffish and disloyal.
And disloyal. You know, the standoffish thing is interesting because the truth of it is I'm an introvert. And introverts can do lots of things, but I believe deeply in the things I care about, feel a sense of urgency when I want to take things on, and at the end of the day, I'm truly one of those people that just likes to hide. And for me, it's on my bike or with my running shoes in the hills. And so I'm sure that at times that comes off as standoffish or urgent or wanting to do too much at the wrong time. And I've learned so much talking with so many people throughout this city. I've learned, one, that I'm not as introverted as I might have thought, or I can put a good face on all of this. But through deep connection and commitment to a city and to our people and to a place, you can do great things together, and it takes those partnerships. And this isn't about a person. This is about the future of our community. And I heard time and time again this spring, and you said on Tuesday, that you are looking for something new. You want to have conversations as a community that we haven't had, that it was time to address urgently housing, transportation, jobs that pay us what we need to live here. And so I stepped into a race, and it was a super tough decision, but it's made possible these conversations. It's been an incredible honor, and day by day I recognize that this isn't about me or about the incumbent mayor. This is about Boise and her people.
So the second half of that question, and let's give her briefly a minute. Are you disloyal for running against the mayor who appointed you in 2011?
I just said, I think that this was about stepping up for this city. And I feel that I did it for the people of the city, for our kids and their kids and the future that we all need to have. And that's what this is about. Not about pledging allegiance or loyalty to one person, but pledging my love to this city that has created a home and given my family a life.
Okay, thank you. Thank you also for the brevity. Several questions about term limits. So let's start with Councilwoman. I think you've talked about a self-imposed term limit. Do you believe in? So what would your term limit be, and would you impose one legally?
So as as a council member, it's the council that passes laws. So we'd have to have that conversation as a community with the council. I've said all along that I thought it was really important to impose or commit to a personal limit, and that would be no more than 3 terms, because we have to have a sense of urgency daily to tackle the challenges of this city. We have to know that our time is limited So we won't destroy relationships, but instead we'll build and maintain them so that we can accomplish the things we know we must. And it's human nature when you have a good gig to want to just stay there. And I want to make it clear that leaders need to evolve with a city. As the mayor has said at past forums, when you have a new administration, you have an opportunity to ask questions differently, have new conversations, change an agenda, and that's what having a term limit on myself will allow the city to do beyond me.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I think the implication of that is, isn't 16 years enough?
Well, you know, Bill, do you tell your accountant, you know, you're just too experienced for me. I want a new accountant. I want somebody that hasn't done anything. You know, do you tell your nurse, you know, you've been a nurse for 16 years. I don't want you to work for me. I want some new nurse that hasn't worked on anybody. It's interesting that term limits come up now that she's running for this office, but apparently term limits don't apply when you're a council member. I guess that's fine. Term limits, you always have the right to limit people's terms, and I believe in that. You have this kind of discussion and you make a decision. You know, that's just so much bunk. We have 1,700 employees. You got to make tough decisions every day. Who's going to be in? Who's going to be out? I've made all those decisions to the point that things are going so well that you don't even think about that. Well, you were thinking about it when I came into office. It was a train wreck. People didn't want to work for the city of Boise. Now it's where you want to be. I want to take a great city and make it even better. I don't believe in them. And it's interesting that people are born again now that they want to run for something else.